In the trade war with China, here's the question. Who suffers the most? Chris Garcia is with us, former Deputy Director at the Commerce Department. All right, Chris, it seems to me at the moment China is hurting more than America. Their economy is slowing down, their market's really down. Ours is not. How about going into the future? Who suffers the most?
Well, Stuart, we have the upper hand. Frankly, the United States is negotiating with the position of power because President Trump has come into office with the right strategy. Number one, he came in to say, I'm going to deregulate, I'm going to open up job creation, I'm going to make sure that businesses have more money to grow and expand. So that was the strategy to begin with. Let's put ourselves in a position of strength. Now we're able to go back to the table with China and say, listen, we mean business, and frankly, let's talk about China. To think that anyone would deny that China has engaged in lying, cheating, and stealing since they've joined the World Trade Organization in 2001 is unconscionable. President Trump is doing the exact opposite of what past leaders have done, who perhaps, as they say, tucked their tails between their legs and went home because they were afraid of poking the China bear. But this is why we have the upper hand. We're in a position of strength. They're in a position of weakness.
The New York Times this morning suggests that this trade fight, call it what you like, is the beginning of a new economic Cold War, and that it could drag on for a long time. What do you say?
Well, I think that's just not right at all. In fact, I think it was Jack Ma also that said that this could take perhaps 20 years. I don't think this is going to go anywhere near that long. I think that the risk China runs is, frankly, hurting their consumer base much more than they would hurt ours. As we've seen, we've got about 23% or so of our consumers, mom-and-pop retailers, are in the stock market. I don't know that this is going to expand and extend that long.
But we're asking for a fundamental change in China's policy. We're asking them to stop stealing our intellectual property and stop forcibly taking our technology. It's very difficult to get them to agree to that without them losing face.
True. Now, it's very important that we give them some type of victory back, if you will, to take back to their people. President Reagan had a great philosophy for negotiating. I think that President Trump is employing that. Number one, you negotiate in good faith. Number two, you show respect to the other side. You make sure that they know you respect them. But number three, you also have to give them something to take back to their constituents. And I think that President Trump, if you look at his statement that was released a few days ago, he says that he does have significant respect and admiration for President Xi, and he hopes they can come to an amicable solution. So, frankly, I think that this is the federal government's job. President Trump is doing it now when we're in a position of strength. If not, when else will we do this?
But, Chris, you don't expect any kind of breakthrough agreement before November, do you? It's likely to drag on after that, isn't it?
It's very likely, and this is why it's so important to have all Americans get behind President Trump. If we continue to undermine President Trump and his initiative to get China to play fair, it only shows China that we're weak and fractured as a nation. We have to get behind the president in getting China back to this, to more fair trading agreements, because we have the moral high ground. We can't deny, nobody can deny, that China has lied, cheated, and stolen since they joined the WTO. So we've got to bring them back to the table. We have to get a better deal, a more fair deal. And as you say, you've done a great job in informing your viewers about the facts of the matter. This is exactly what we're doing.